Hello there, everyone. Welcome to another match of the A Link to the Past No Major Glitches League. This is season number 7 already. Wow. We have a Desert Palace race. It's between Concision and fricker22, and we have Shkoople on commentary, and I will leave it to you.
Thank you. As we said, Fricker versus Concision. Fricker, well-known, wrote the guide on the game partially. Then we got Concision, who I believe started running this game last November, if I'm remembering that lore correctly. So making good progress, and he's looking for a PB soon. But yeah, the runners' respective PBs. We got Concision with a 128.12. We've got Fricker with a 124.52. So a large gap in the PBs, but if I'm remembering right, Fricker has not been very active lately, so there might be a little bit of rust coming into play. And like I said, Concision's been pretty close to a PB for a while now. So hopefully have a nice, good race here, and we'll be underway in a second or two. And here we go. Starting out in the escape, lots of walking, lots of pumping, a little bit of mashing. As I chase our uncle before he tries to get himself killed. Not too much happens in this split. There's a couple of rooms where we can save and lose a bunch of time, but we are gonna be pumping away. Usually don't expect disaster and or large variances in time in this split. Probably a couple seconds. We get our first weapon, the sword. Link is sleeping because he's ready to save the world at a moment's notice. Looks like we got a prediction in chat, if you will, on a gamble. We love gambling. Concision getting a little bit of a weird pattern there in the guard hallway and gets stabbed a little bit. Not a big deal. Ooh, Fricker going for left slash and he gets it. And then Concision going for the up slash, a bit more of a common strat. Fricker saves a little bit of time with that strat. And Concision didn't get the best recoil there, but that's okay. Nicely done from both runners. So down into the ball and chain room is our first, what I consider a boss, kind of, in the game. I'm sure I'll get some hate for that, but he's pretty tough. We'll see if both of our runners go for the 8 slash or if we see a 1 pop. Fricker going for 8 slash here. Concision will do 1 pot. I love this strat. It's nice and comfy. Nice 8 slash from Fricker though. Concision taking a hit, still very nicely done. So we've rescued Zelda, who will help us with 1 room in the entire game, and then we just leave her forever. So we're back into the guard hallway where we'll see, yeah, Fricker gets hit a little bit. Same for Concision. Concision running a little low on life. It starts to get scary around 1 heart, but there are a couple safeties in the back that we can get if we're not feeling comfortable. And here we see the one room where Zelda helps us out by pushing this massive block. She must be incredibly strong. Right, yeah, Concision grabbing a nice safety heart. It's very smart, especially after taking that rat hit. And upcoming on Fricker's side, you'll see this next room has the first what I call RNG in the game, and we'll see what he gets. That's an okay pattern. A little slower than you like, but oh, he misses the key. Oh no. And Concision getting a slightly better pattern and not missing the key, so he'll save a little bit of time there. Alright, and we are out of the escape. Fricker getting rat frames. He'll save a little bit of time through this text because the game doesn't have to draw his shield. And definitely saving some time. And then we do have the opportunity here to skip Sankar. I'd be surprised if we see it in a race, but I think I've seen Fricker do it before. So yeah, there he goes. So he's gonna skip an entire heart container, which is definitely risky, but it does save about 3 to 4 seconds. And the Concision grabbing it, which I would expect. That's interesting. There are a couple points in the game where that extra heart is very, very, very valuable. And not having it can get you in some sticky situations. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Making our way over to Eastern Palace, a bunch of enemies try to get in our way. Nothing too dangerous. Just try to minimize the hits and boom them out of the way. Alright, so we're into the Stalfos room for Fricker. We can kill 2 of these skeletons with pots, and then the third one kind of spawns off screen, and we can get through that room pretty quickly. I don't know the full science behind it, but we can kind of trigger them and kill them quickly, and then the third one doesn't spawn, and we can get out of here quick. Oh, little mistake from Concision, but doesn't spawn a third Stalfos, so it's fine. And then Fricker's heading into the big key room. We can do a little bit of a damage boost here to bypass the anti-fairies and hit the switch. And that'll spawn the big chest without having to kill every enemy in the room. He fluffs it a little bit and has to get some safety hearts, but still faster than killing everything in that room for sure. Nicely done from Concision. Alright, grabbing our bow, which we will immediately use to kill most enemies in the back. Oh, get down, Mr. President. Concision is in a little bit of trouble here. Oh my, okay, we're fine. And then Fricker heads into the Armos Knights, our first boss fight with a reward, doing the traditional arrow strat. Nicely done. Alright, Concision into the back. He's gonna grab an extra heart. Alright, Concision also into the Armos Knights. Running a little low on arrow, doesn't get any drops there. Also doing the traditional strat. Looks like he's got it under control. Very nice. Both of our runners are, well, Fricker's got fine arrows, but Concision definitely on the lower side. So we head over to Saha's hut and we grab our boots and we can just start to press A to win the game. It's wonderful. And we start to see our first spin speed of the run. We can do a little glitch that involves spinning and then pressing A. And it puts us in a permanent running state where we can change directions, unlike the actual dash button. So we'll see that all throughout the run to save a bunch of time. Another difference in our runner here, Concision's gonna go to the back of this hut and grab the rupees and maybe the bombs. Bombs are pretty slow, but they are very comfortable. So that's the money we'll need to get into Palace of Darkness once we get to the Dark World. We'll see Fricker do some tree pulls in the Agate Tower split to get his get his money. And we can see Fricker struggling to get spin speed. It's a very finicky trick, and definitely it's about the principle of it. Once you miss it, it's usually faster to not go for it again, but it's all about the pride. So we get the book and we will be heading down to Desert Palace, where we will get our gloves. I think Concision missed the spin speed there once, but so Desert Palace is a nice showcase of the boots that we just got. tons of long hallways, keys to bonk off torches. Really just puts the item to really good use and teaches you that dashing is fast. Fricker heads into the cannonball room, which can have various patterns that can save or lose you time. Looks like he gets a slower one. Have to adjust his dashing accordingly, but handles it nicely. Fricker's also slightly low on rupees. I wouldn't be surprised if he grabs the Circle of Pots rupee upcoming here. Also wouldn't be surprised if he skips it though, to be fair. Kind of just hope for a drop. There are ways to get it if you don't get lucky. Concision to the cannonball room. Nice pattern for him. He'll be able to dash right out. Alright, so both players have our gloves. Fricker's into the back of Desert Palace, where we'll fight our second boss, Land Mollusk. The boss we fight with the bow, and it is pretty difficult with a lot of opportunity to save and lose time against another runner. It's pretty RNG heavy, but we've come up with some strategies to make it more consistent, but there's a ton of skill involved in this fight, and it can go pretty hairy. So we'll see Fricker started out here. Try to get 2 arrows in each worm at the start is ideal. Pretty good. His third worm is short hop twice. That's unfortunate. Oh, nice save. Nice 3-cycle from Fricker. Alright, Concision grabbing some backup arrows here. Puts him at a nice comfy 29. So yeah, 3-cycle Land Mollusk fight is pretty standard. Well, not standard, but it is near, I would say, the most common. Once you get comfortable with the fight, nobody complains about a 3-cycle. Concision looks like he's setting up for a 4-cycle here. Very nice. Ooh, Concision switching to Boomerang here. This can save us some time on the Tower of Hera overworld. So that pickle enemy that Fricker had to go around, Concision can use the boomerang to stun it and then dash past it, saving a small amount of time. Oh, and I also forgot to talk about our glitch that we just saw Fricker do. We call it fake flippers, and if we transition on the edge of the screen in water, the game doesn't check that we have flippers, and so we can swim to the portal. Both players getting it, no problem. So So Fricker's up on the mountain where these boulders rain down and they all do 1 heart of damage. And it can get pretty messy up here. So far, he's handling it very well, though. Yeah, excellently done, and pretty good boulder luck there. Alright, so Fricker's entering Tower of Hera after rescuing the old man and getting his mirror. And in Tower of Hera, we will get our Moon Pearl. This dungeon can get a little out of hand. There's a lot of enemies that deal a full heart of damage. Ooh, oh, he maps. Alright, doesn't get hit by the Moldorm though. Alright, so we'll see Fricker, I think, attempt a boomerang strat here to get on the other side of the pegs. This can save a little bit of time and a lot of RNG in the next room. And he gets it, so he'll be able to take a nice little break here. And as we see Concision about to enter Tower of Hera. Oh, that worm is not kind to Concision at all. So you can see Concision doesn't do the boomerang strat in the basement, which means you have to deal with these tiles. There's also a possibility that the worms in the next room can bully you, which we hope doesn't happen. And then Fricker heading upstairs, we'll see our first bomb jump of the run. I think it's debatable whether developers intended this, but I think they did. But yeah, Fricker doing the early bomb jump. Oh, but he misses it, so that's gonna lose him a chunk of time. And yeah, Concision gets hit by that worm. In the next room, pretty low on life here. We are more synced up now. That bomb jump, I don't know, I think loses about 30 seconds. And also emotional damage, as we can see, Fricker struggling with the beetles a little bit. Nice hard drop for Concision there. All right, round 2 of the bomb jump for Fricker. Looks like he's gonna go for a more traditional setup. Spinning on the edge of the pit means you can't fall in if done correctly. And the same strat from Concision there. Oh, Fricker getting a little low. I didn't see, did Concision hit the switch? I don't think Fricker did. Alright, both runners not hitting the switch. 2 hearts heading into the Moldorm fight is fine. It allows for a mistake. This boss is pretty tricky. Bouncing off the walls in unpredictable ways means getting hit here is not unlikely. Oh, alright. Fricker's through. Concision into the last phase. Oh boy. Everything is fine. Everyone is alive. All right, so now we are heading into the Aghanim's Tower split. We're gonna go to the pedestal and grab our Master Sword, and we'll see a little bit of difference in our runners. As mentioned, Fricker will need to do some tree pulls for his money, and Concision has already gotten his money, so he will be able to just dash through. So Fricker didn't get any drops, and we'll have to get all 4 of those blue rupees before heading into the forest, and Concision just dashing on through. Alright. Pretty close between our runners as we grab the Master Sword, which will effectively double our firepower. It's very nice. Yeah, I'm not sure of the difference between tree rupees and Saha rupees. I don't think it's very much in the grand scheme of things. So definitely, if you're comfortable with that strat, it's worthwhile to do. Fricker doing his second tree pull and getting all of the money he needs to get into Palace of Darkness. Concision grabbing the mushroom. I don't think we'll see him turn it into powder, but we can still use it later on with the Cane of Samaria to mimic the powder's effects and turn anti-fairies into fairies if we get into trouble. It's a good safety to grab, doesn't cost much time. Using it does cost quite a bit of time, but it's way better than taking an unfortunate death. Alright, so Fricker headed into Aghanim's tower. Concision not far behind. This dungeon is pretty difficult. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, a lot of guards that can poke you out of nowhere. So we'll see both runners attempt to dash through those blue guards in the room that Fricker just left. This is to preserve the prize pack, which we want later on in Turtle Rock. Those guards can drop a heart and a fairy, but if we dash through them, they do not drop anything, and so we preserve those for Turtle Rock when we would like a nice refill. Fricker through the maze without getting hit, that is ideal. Concision gets hit by the bat, but doesn't lose him any hearts. Yes, so both runners having beams, which is exactly what you want in this tower. There's a lot of beam-friendly strats that we use. Oh, nice block from Concision. Oh. Really? Honestly, a good tower from both runners there. Alright, so we're through the dungeon. Both runners keeping beams. Very nice. Now we're heading into the Aghanim boss fight. It is not at all difficult, but there is the potential for a lot of arbitrary time loss here. So Aghanim will start off firing an energy ball, which we can reflect back at him, and then the next 3 balls are a 50-50 chance for an energy ball, or what we call a blue ball. And every blue ball that you get is about a 6-second time loss. and then he fires lightning and then resets the pattern. So there is a ton of potential to get unlucky here. I'll do my best to count the balls, but I may need some chat help. We've got 2 for Fricker so far. And 1 for Concision so far. Three for Fricker. So once you hit 3 blue balls, you lose an extra 6 seconds because he does another lightning phase. So, as mentioned, Concision gets 1 ball and saves a bunch of time here. Fricker is at 4, which is about a 30-second time loss. Alright, so Fricker's got 5 balls, I think. About 36 seconds of time lost. So that'll put Concision in a nice comfy lead entering the Dark World. And as we enter Dark World, we'll notice a large increase in difficulty. The enemies start to hit for more, the dungeons get longer, and lots of opportunity to get hit and lose time. Oh. Alright, Fricker waving his sword around. Alright, so we see on Concision's side that we've grabbed a monkey friend, and we pay him all of the money that we gathered in Light World, and he lets us into this dungeon. And I just recently learned about the difference that this monkey can drop or jump when he lets you in. I think that was a pretty small hop from Concision. Let's watch on Fricker's side. I think the same jump for both. You hate to see it. It doesn't actually change anything, I just think it's fun now. So yeah, as we enter Palace of Darkness, we'll really put the mirror through its paces. We will constantly run into rooms in this dungeon, grab keys or items, and then mirror back to the start. I noticed Concision got a very nice arrow drop there in the front. It's very good timing. All right, and so we've gathered most of our resources, and Concision is heading to the back. He's heading towards the big chest, which contains the hammer, and we'll do a not so minor glitch to get it, which is called the hammer jump, where we bomb jump across this little hallway, or pathway rather, and go through the rail. Nicely done from Concision. Couple extra buffers, but very nice. Oh. Oh, Fricker was 1 pixel too low, causing him to fall into the pit. So we'll have to redo the trick. That trick is pixel perfect. We can use menu buffers, but you have to place the bomb in an exact location and also position Link in an exact location after placing the bomb. It's very difficult. Alright, so concision at the statue in the back. Both runners are heading to Helmasaur King. This is a boss where the difference in Sandcart can really shine through. Fricker will be able to take 2 hits from the boss. Concision will be able to take 3. Obviously, nobody wants to take any damage from the boss, but things happen. So Concision has a bit of an extra safety net here. Very nice turtle room from Concision. Alright, so Concision into the fight. We'll have to hammer the mask 17 times, question mark? And then we can hurt the boss properly. Nicely done from Concision. I believe we'll see both runners do this, but we can activate spin speed while fighting Helmasaur King, and it extends our hammer's hitbox up, which allows us to break the mask and hurt the boss easier. Very nicely done by Fricker. Alright, so we're through the first dungeon of the Dark World, and we'll be taking a long journey across the world to get to dungeon number 4, because who cares what the developers wanted? On the way, we'll grab our flute and activate it, and then we'll be heading back into the Dark World and entering Thieves Town. I guess we can talk a little bit about quick warps, but the short version is if we mirror in the right place, we save time on the mirror's transition. And we'll see a runner's attempt to do that here. Concision looks like he gets it, so he'll save a little bit of time on the end of that mirror transition. We'll see both runners attempt spin speed on this screen that Concision is entering. It's almost a mandatory spin speed as that red guard is very fast. Concision gets through no problem. Oh, 2 digs required on Fricker's side. Really bad luck. Oh, considering gonna get bullied a little bit. That's not a big deal. Ooh, it looks like Fricker is setting up for a spin speed after activating his flute. I believe this can save a decent amount of time, but is pretty hard to pull off. It looks like he gets it, so you can see the difference in that screen there. So Thieves Town is a lot of long hallways similar to Desert. Really put the boots and our new sword through their paces. There's a lot of little things to pay attention to in this dungeon. Definitely some places where you need to watch what enemies are doing because everything here hits pretty hard. And coming up on Concision side, we'll see what we call the Hellway. It's a room with a ton of RNG, but if we land on the right pixel and get lucky, we can dash right through it. Concision a little too far left on his initial dash, but cleans it up fine. Alright, Fricker coming up on the Hellway. Oh, gets unlucky, but does a very good job of handling it. He's gonna lose some time with that, but there's not a lot he could have done. Concision playing the drums. That Zazak did not want to get hit. So, Concision has rescued the maiden from the cell, and she will be eternally grateful, I'm sure. Fricker making his way into the cell as well. And we grab our Titan's Mitts in this dungeon, which is just an upgraded version of the glove. They don't really do much except let us access new areas of the game. Kind of boring. Alright, Concision into the blind fight. Very nice first 2 phases. Very nicely done by Concision. Fricker into the same fight. And well done for both of our runners. And so we'll leave Thieves Town and we'll start to make our way towards Skull Woods, but first we'll stop and upgrade our sword for a mere $10. We'll also be grabbing all of the money we need for the rest of the game. So yeah, we will rescue the frog and then take him back to the light world. And we will upgrade our weapon for the final time in the run. It is technically faster to skip the red sword all the way until the Ganon fight, and then the tempered sword saves a ginormous amount of time. So, and not only that, the tempered sword does make most boss fights in the game much easier than using the Master Sword. We have to do some silly things on these screens, entering the building, leaving the screen, all of that, but we do get our upgraded sword, and then both runners will be heading up to Skull Woods. We get a fence dash from Fricker. Concision didn't attempt it. It's a pretty difficult trick. We have to press 2 inputs at the same time, but it allows us to dash right at the side of that screen very quickly. And then we're entering the mummy room on Concision's side. This room can get very squirrely very quickly. As we see Concision take a little bit of a safer route there to avoid getting hit. Those mummies do 2 hearts of damage, so... Same room for Fricker. Very nicely done. And then we're heading, on Concision's side, into the bomb jump of Skull Woods. We're going to jump across this little pit, similar to the Hera and Pod split, and grab our fire rod. I don't know if Fricker does the EBJ here. We saw Concision do the traditional strat. Now, looks like we'll get the same strat from both runners. Don't dash down. Okay, so Concision's gonna head into the Mummy Hellway, where we will shoot a bunch of fire rod shots, light a bunch of torches, and make our way to the back, and on to the Mothula fight. Oh, Fricker going for the harder and faster strat there, but has a mistake and gets grabbed and sent back to the front. Meanwhile, Concision has a very nice Mothula fight. So Fricker will need to redo this room. Oh boy. He's very worried about his magic, but he doesn't have to be. Okay, we're through. Oh boy. Okay, we're fine. We grab an extra heart there, which will allow us to take an extra hit from Moth as well. Concision grabbing a gold skull woods there. Some golden donuts. Excellent Moth fight from Fricker. Almost perfect. Alright, so Concision will be making his way up to the catfish and grabbing his Quake medallion, and then onwards to Zora to grab his flippers. We do this while we head to the Ice Palace dungeon. This split is definitely one of the harder splits in the run. We see Concision take a nice safe strategy there. That Ropa, when we do the normal strat, can jump up at the right time and hit you for 2 hearts of damage. And it's very important for the speedrun that we keep beams while entering the Ice Palace, because there's a couple of enemies that can lose us time if we don't have beams. So as Fricker makes his way into Zora, or sorry, Concision, you can see Fricker do the faster strat and gets through unscathed. Oh, I like that menu buffer from Fricker. Fricker does a trick we call quick fish, and for whatever reason, you can throw the pot, or rock rather, at the very edge of Catfish's circle, and it will trigger the Catfish without throwing the rock into the circle. Concision recognizing Zora might have given him trouble and going up and around as an alternate strat. He probably could have snuck through at the bottom there, but if it's comfy, then whatever. Oh, shooting an arrow at the ice enemy here. He's gonna be low magic, or never mind, only if he had used another shot. He's got plenty now. I missed how we got onto bow on Concision's side. I assume it's just a, menu mistake. Ooh, Fricker very nicely menu buffering to avoid those crabs. Nice double bomb strat from Concision. He'll be making his way through this conveyor room into the Ice Palace bomb jump. This is, I would say, probably strictly required bomb jump to do the speedrun. It saves an enormous amount of time by not making us backtrack through the dungeon. And he gets it, very nice. All right, Concision has to drop through a couple more holes here, and then he'll be at the cold stare fight. We do have somewhat of a script for this fight, but if we mess up, it is a very difficult fight. And Fricker gets the bomb jump as well. This was a pretty decent Ice Palace for Concision, I'd say. And he gets the boss fight down, no problem. Looks like a... Oh, no, I'm not even gonna bother doing math. It was a decent ice for Concision. Fricker right behind into the cold stare fight. I believe Fricker will do a slightly different strat on this boss. It is just a little bit faster, but we'll see what he chooses to do here. Yeah, Fricker going for the double poke, gets it, very nicely done. And I don't know what our runners are going to do here. It does look like we're going to have a little bit of variance. I think we'll see Fricker get the Ether Medallion. Well, I'm not sure. I think Concision does Long Swamp. So we'll see him grab the Ether Medallion and the Ice Rod here. Very nice Ice Palace from Fricker there. It's a 619. He saved a bunch of time in that dungeon. Alright, Concision gets his Ether Medallion, and he'll be heading down to grab the Ice Rod as well before heading to Swamp. Wakes up a guard there, but sneaks in before he causes any trouble. Alright, it looks like Fricker will be just heading into Swamp. So it'll look like our runners are closer than they are. Fricker will have to go get his Ice Rod after this dungeon or after Misery Mire. And the Ice Rod pickup is somewhere in the neighborhood of 37-ish seconds. Fricker going for the quick warp there. Looks like he doesn't get it. I don't think either runner did though. Okay, so we are in the Swamp Palace dungeon. This dungeon is pretty long with a lot of weak enemies, but they can whittle away at your health. This is supposed to be the second dungeon that we do in the Dark World. So you notice a lot of the enemies are a little bit weaker, but they are plentiful with lots of opportunities to get hit and lose time. Similar to Pod, we do have to grab some keys and do some backtracking, opening up levers and flooding things. And then we'll be heading back over to the left side to grab our big key for that chest right there. Got some nice sync going here between our runners. Although, as mentioned, it is a little bit fake because Fricker will still need his ice rod. Still, we can enjoy it while it lasts. Alright, so we've reached the big key chest. Nice chest turn from Fricker. I think that's the first of our run here. And both runners back to the main hub to grab their hook shot, which we immediately switch to get this key and then back up top to the door. And then one final lever to drain the water, and we're making our way back to Argus. I believe we'll see both of our runners attempt the Argus quick kill, and we can utilize the hook speed to attempt to quickly kill the boss. Still pretty close for this dungeon with our runners. We see Concision enter the fight. Oh, he's not going to attempt the quick kill. Fricker will on the right side here. Looking good so far, and he's got it. Oh, yeah, he got it. Okay. So yeah, that'll save Fricker a good amount of time. over Concision's fight. Concision gets him down as well. Yes, Fricker still needs his ice rod before heading to Turtle Rock. I was trying to figure out his shopping based on his splits, but I think he's done multiple shopping routes, and I couldn't figure it out. And yes, Concision did Long Swamp, grabbing Ether and Ice Rod. All right, so I think we'll see both of our runners go to Misery Mire here. We'll use our recently acquired Ether Medallion to open the dungeon. And then we'll see a lot of dashing around. And then once we get to the basement, the dungeon becomes a bit trickier. Also, you may have noticed both of our runners, when they landed at the Misery Mire portal, they went under the rock to set up what we call spooky action. Without going into too much detail, we can do that movement to make our fire rod kind of hit twice, and we'll hit some switches off the screen later on in the dungeon. Very nice Mire 2 from both runners. So we'll be making our way down to get our big key, and then running all the way back across the dungeon to get the Cane of Samaria. I didn't quite catch Fricker's torches time, but it's about this full cutscene length ahead of Concision. So Fricker will be grabbing his cane. We can see our runners do a different dashing pattern in the lobby. Fricker's is a little bit faster, but loses a heart, and Concision takes the safe route. There's not much time difference between the two. And so, as we enter the basement here on Fricker's side, we'll see him place a Samaria block, but before that, we'll kick up some dust with his boots. He'll be preserving the spooky action setup that we set up earlier. I don't know if he got it there. We'll see. Oh, I think he knows he didn't get it. He's going to be doing a little bit of a backup strat here. He'll also be burning an extra bomb. We'll see Concision, I believe, attempt the spooky action here. I'll shoot the fire out of the spike, and it'll hit a switch. Oh boy. Above. Alright, so no spooky action in this run. Concision will also have to burn a bomb here. That hurts Concision, because looking at his splits, he does have a big chunk of time to save in this dungeon. And yes, Concision did get the spooky action. He was just too low, I believe, after he actually hit the spike. If he had walked back up a little bit, it would have triggered. But yeah, I think the first two were just mistimed and or phased to the spike. We see Fricker dealing with Vitreous very well. We do a bunch of damage boosting here in order to spin the little eyeballs and kill them all very quickly. And Concision done with the fight as well. Very nice. Alright, so we'll see Fricker go grab his ice rod before heading into the mountain. Concision will be heading there right after this cutscene. And then we'll be synced back up. Alright, so Concision lands at 41 on his timer. Oh, getting hit by some rocks here. Alright, Fricker lands on the mountain at 04, so about 23-second difference between our runners. Concision going to grab a safety fairy there. Now we use our Quake medallion that we grabbed in the Ice Palace split to enter the final dungeon. Well, the not so final dungeon actually. There's a lot of hard rooms in this dungeon, mixed with a lot of auto-scrolling that we do use the Cane of Samaria while we just stand on these platforms. Fricker attempts to get the spin speed from the medallion. He gets it, but immediately walks back onto the platform and breaks it. Oh, all right, we're fine. We do some damage boosting in that room to get through it quicker. But it looks like Concision just dashed too high. Fricker doing the exact same thing, so all square in that room. Alright, into chain chomps. This room can be very good or very bad. It was very good for concision. There's a lot of RNG in that room, and reading it correctly takes a lot of skill. As we see Fricker entering that room, getting the opposite pattern, basically, but also doing an excellent job of getting through. See Concision get his fairy drop, and also get hit by the bunny bean, losing a little bit of time. Oh no! Oh, this is not good. Fricker will have to wait for this bunny beam to end before getting his pokey key, also getting his fairy drop. Nice beam strat from Fricker there. Saves a little bit of time. Concision will use his beams to make it through this room a little bit quicker. The reason Concision gets hit there is because he hesitated a bit in the room before, and so the roller keeps moving during that time. But he manages to hit the switch with the beam, so still most of the time is saved. And then on Fricker's side, we see it go much smoother. We're on to Laser Bridge, where we have to knock this beetle off the path and grab our final small key of the dungeon before backtracking up to Trinex. Oh, Fricker, it looks like he was attempting to go for the faster strat there, but the beetle was aggressive and so he could not go for it. Oh, watch the ice. Okay, we're fine. Alright, Concision through phase 1. We'll attempt to do a quick spin, hitting Trinex twice, and then just slashing him one final time for the victory. Nicely done. Fricker will be attempting the backdoor Trinex, which saves a small amount of time. And he gets it. Nicely done from both runners on the Trinex fight. And now we'll both be heading to Ganon's Tower, the final gauntlet of the game. Will be full of tricks and opportunities for time save and loss. It is by far one of the hardest dungeons in the run. We see Concision trying to get some hook speed there, eventually giving up. We'll see Fricker attempt the same thing. did not catch the time that each runner left Turtle Rock. Judging by their splits, it's still about 23 seconds, I think. We'll check on Gen's tower entry here. About 35 for concision. Let's see what we get on Fricker's side. Yeah, so about 21 seconds is the lead for concision here. Fricker goes for the fast spike skip there. It doesn't get it, but handles it well. Alright, so concision will be dropping into the Ice Armos fight. It is the same boss from the first dungeon of the game, except on ice. I'll need to grab these arrows. Okay, very good. Concision does take a hit from the anti-fairy. The hearts are not a big deal, but we will want to refill our magic at some point during the gauntlet climb. Fricker grabbing a bomb on the left side there. I actually hadn't noticed that he was missing one. Also taking a hit from the anti-fairy. Alright, so concision done with his Ice Armos fight, gets his big key and some backup arrows, and starts his climb. We can see him grab that magic pot. Alright, we're through Mimics 1. And then into Mimics 2 for concision. Doing a strat I've never seen before. I like that. Nice Mimics 2. Fricker into Mimics 1. Almost perfectly done. And then Fricker with a very nice Mimics 2. Alright, so concision into the gauntlet. This is a very difficult section of the game. It's not often that we die in the gauntlet, but we can get beat up and lose a bunch of time. You can see Fricker gaining some time here, almost in the same room. Oh boy. Alright, we're through on Fricker's side and on concision's side. The scary part is over, kind of. Still plenty of room to get hit though. Gotta be a little careful of your health on 3 here. I think that was a very nice land move from both runners. Fricker forgets where the heart is. Grabs some extra arrows for his effort. And after we light a couple more torches... Oh no! I didn't see what happened there. Fricker falls down. He's got plenty of magic, but that is time loss we can't really afford. It's Concision, heads into Moldorm 2. Nicely done. Oh no! Fricker falls again. Okay, we made it. This gives Concision a very healthy lead as we head into the Aghanim 2 fight on his side. Similar to Aghanim 1, the real Aga can alternate between energy and blue balls. He is guaranteed to fire energy balls on the 1st, 4th, and 7th cycle, I guess. We really hope we don't see 7 cycles. But he also has 2 clones that will always fire an energy ball that we can reflect back at Aga. Really nice fight from Concision. Alright, so Concision will be landing on the pyramid at 740 or 120, 139. Sorry, 126.39. I finally got the numbers right. But yeah, this is his race to lose at this point. There's plenty that can go wrong in this Ganon fight, obviously. Fricker's got to be a little bit careful of the health situation, but he gets through his Aga 2 fight. Very nice. We lived. Oh, yep. Concision walks into Ganon, which does, I think, 8 hearts of damage. It's quite a lot. Luckily, he has the health to spare. Alright, so we're through to phase 4 for Concision. We'll be attempting a glitch we call torch glitch, and if we light this left torch before the right torch ever goes out, the right torch will never go out, and we just have to worry about the left. Nice fight from Concision, and he has completed the game. Get your GGs in chat. And finishing within a minute of your PB during a race has got to feel good for him. His final time on his timer is a 1:28.40. Yeah, so Concision looks like, I think, about 28 seconds behind his PB. Very nice run. And then Fricker completes his Ganon fight and is on his way to completing the game as well. I think he got a little nervous that he had pressed the dash button too soon. But his final time looks like a 1:29.33. We'll give it a moment to see if either of our runners want to join for an interview. Yeah, GG, very good race. It was very close throughout. And we're joined by Concision. Nice run, dude. How do you feel?
Hey, thank you. I'm sorry? Did you ask me a question? Sorry.
I said, how do you feel?
I feel good. I think that the light world was like passable. I had some nerves early on, but every race I do, they fade a little faster, so that's nice. When I got one blue ball on a decent light world, I thought maybe I had a chance here. I know Fritter's a little rusty, so. And then my mid game was just really strong. Pod through swamp, I'd say, was very good for me. And then Meyer was kind of a disaster, and I thought at that point I'd like probably lost it. If it was close before, I'd lost it at that point. But TR and GT were both decent, and then the Ganon fight was a Ganon fight, and so here we are. But
yeah,
it was a fun race.
You actually both missed Spooky and Meyer, which prevented any real difference in that split.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't miss Spooky very often now. I think this is the first time in probably 40 runs. But yeah, like I don't know if you guys noticed, but my menus going into Vitreous were just completely off because I have no idea how to menu to bow from bombs. So
yeah, I'm trying to think of other notable things that had happened. You picked up a gold Skull Woods. That's pretty cool.
I did, yeah. It was really good Skull Woods. Yeah, really good Skull Woods. Really good Agate Tower. It was only 0.2 off of gold. And I want to say there was some small thing that I remember being kind of silly there. So, and then I think TR was really good considering how terrible that overworld was. I even like grabbed the safety ferry on the mountain. But no, I'm pretty happy with the way that I played. I think that things went wrong, but then I like make good adjustments without trying to like overcompensate, which I think is like a real key for these like race situations.
Yeah, for sure. Being flexible in your strats and all that, and just going with the ebb and flow of the run. I mean, not panicking. I think you did very well.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, I don't know if Fricker will be joining us or not. Yeah, so what's up with Long Swamp? When are you changing that?
I'm never going to change Long Swamp because it'll mess up my spreadsheet. So here we are.
Oh,
this
no.
is it. Yeah. No, I still think Long Swamp is comfy, and I don't really like. If I could go back in time a million years, I'd probably move Ice Rod to a Turtle Rock split. I'd probably do twin shopping. But at this point, I like Long Swamp. It's comfy, so I'm just gonna keep doing it. I mean, if it's good enough for Blaine, it's probably good enough for me.
I'm just giving you crap. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any final thoughts on the race?
No. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you, Scruple, for commentary. Thank you, Restreamer. I really appreciate all you guys. And GG to Fricker. I'm glad it was a close one.
Yeah, I don't see any sign that he'll be joining, so I've got nothing else. It was a great race to watch. It was really cool to watch the time save and almost lead changes. So very good race.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, so that's going to be it for us here. I know a race just started in ZSR2. I gotta look and see what it is. Okay, it's Matt79 versus Urark. So we'll go say hi to them. If you want to stay on ZSR main, we got a cross keys race coming up in an hour and a half. And that will be it for us today. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time.